All right, welcome everyone. This is a Viper Professional Training and Support webinar. Today's date is Wednesday, January 6th, 2016. And the title of tonight's webinar is Using Viper Tools to Take the Trades. And as everyone knows that's been to our webinars or our live trading rooms, everything that we say and do at Viper Trading Systems is for educational purposes only. Futures trading, Forex trading, any kind of financial instruments trading involves risk. Therefore, there's always risk of loss. You should only trade discretionary capital, and that is money that you can afford to lose. Nothing said in this webinar, other webinars we might have, our live trading room, or anything else with Viper Trading Systems should ever be construed as trading or investment advice. And as always, everyone does trade at their own sole discretion. Any questions on the disclaimer? If not, we're going to go ahead and get started. Hey, Happy New Year to you too, Ken. It's a little late on that, but hey, it is the new year. And believe me, this one will go just as fast as the last one did. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and show the website first because some people aren't familiar with what we're doing here. So first off, we'll go to the website under the home page. Now, the home page is still vipertradingsystems.com. We have totally revamped our website. We've got a guy that is with us basically, and he just literally just took this thing and changed it for much, much better in my opinion. I love it. All right, but anyway, on the home page, if you navigate down, you got a little bar here on the side. You navigate down, you'll notice that basically everything kind of pops at you. Just going to go over this just a little bit. If you've never been with us before, or it's been a while since you've had a trial, if you're not a member, be sure and click this little link right here. You can get a free trial with us. We don't require anything but your name and email. Send that to us and we'll send you a trial. Okay, and if you scroll down here, you'll notice that there's a little bit about Viper Trading Systems here, a little bit about our indicator suites. Watch our indicators in action, a couple of videos here, and of course the object trader. Okay, and then I think we've got some about a couple of our students that have sent in testimonials. By the way, if you're one of these members that would like to send in a testimonial, we'll put you on the site. This is not their pictures. We plan on getting their pictures up here, but this is their testimonials. Okay, but anyway, these are not their pictures right here. Okay, so now with you being a member with us, obviously you want to go to the member login area. Notice here on the website it says member login. Just click on that. I've got mine already in here. You can even remember it if you want to. Click login. All right, and you'll go to the members area. Okay, now in the members area, always you have everything you'll need. You've got the webinar links for the week. You've got the trading room links for the week. Okay, you've got the little PDFs that you can download, the quick start manual, the comprehensive trading manual, template and workspace that we use in the trading room continually. You can always get it right here. Just click on it. It'll ask you if you want to save that one, and you can, of course. And then you've also got like some legends for object trader, sniper line setups and things like that. And all your webinars are going to be updated on a daily basis. Basically, when this webinar is done tonight, I will go into the administrator page and upload the newest video, which will be recording right now. Okay, you shouldn't have any problems getting into the member section. If you do, be sure and send an email to this address right here. Now this is a little smaller fonts than I personally like. We may talk to him about that. But anyway, Viper Licensing at vipertradingsystems.com. If you have any problems getting into the website to the member area, or if you need to get in touch with me, that's the phone number right here at my desk. And if you've got Skype, you can just click on this little logo or this little Viper Trader right here, and it'll launch your Skype and get you in touch with me. Plus, we have TeamViewer support. Okay, there's also a contact link. You can get a hold of us just by simply going here, big number. Email us if you have any questions, name, email address, subject, and a little message. Send it to us, and we'll get right back with you. Okay, so that's all I've got on this for right now. And if you're on trial, you can go to this little site here. You can't get into the member login, but we do have some recordings for you. There's, I think, what, 10 on there right now? Yeah, 10. right this very moment. And you've even got some little chart downloads also as far as seeing what Object Trader will do. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to a chart. What I want to talk about tonight is using Viper tools, but also familiarize yourself with the tools, because we didn't just put these on the charts just so they look pretty. Although I think we got some of the best looking charts of any vendor out there, but good looking charts don't make money. Okay, the money is made because you can actually trade it because of the way we teach it. Now, what I want to show first off, and I'm just going to show just like I did in a couple of webinars back. Everybody in the room, just tell me by these numbers, what's the direction of the trend? And it's pretty obvious, isn't it? Get to where you look at those numbers. They're important. Okay? They're extremely important because, when you're getting these 12 range charts, 3559 to 3519 to 3510 to 3487, well, you can pretty much draw a trend line along that and tell that that trend's doing just like that, isn't it? Pretty much, right? That's what the trend's doing right at that moment. And there's no reason, unless, like we talk about all the time, you are going to go against the trend and scalp. Now, when you go against the trend, you are basically scalping. You leave like one runner on if you want to, or you can just simply scalp them if you want to. Okay, now let's put another indicator on here. One of my favorite indicators. I don't really need it on my chart because we developed it to begin with and I can see it. But if you need to see it, go ahead and punch it in. Lightning 3, use your control key, hold it down, left click your mouse. Okay, that's pretty much telling you that went sideways for a little bit, then straight down, then back up to a retracement, chopped around a little bit, took it down again. So this is definitely a downtrend, right? Now, by looking at this chart, what would it actually take for this to break to the upside using Viper tools? Well, you can clearly see you've got a swing right there, right? It's an identified swing. You had 62 here and 58 here. Not really what I call super identified, but I'll still go with identified on that one. Okay, so you'd have to break this 87, by a few ticks. And when I see another swing like this, I go ahead and draw 2 lines like that. Now, to me, that would have to break that swing right there at, well, I don't know why I know why I don't have my indicator on. Just one second. We're going to put the Viper horizontal line label on because I like those. Okay. Okay, there we go. See, you can clearly see that it's 3488 and 3492. Okay, so that tells you, right about where you think this is going to either head back up or continue its downtrend. Now, we give you some other indicators, and what tonight's webinar is about Viper tools. Now, so far, we've gone over the a priori swing. Now, keep in mind, the a priori swing MTF is not pulling off a 4-range chart. These numbers right here are pulling off of a 12-range chart. Very important, because a 12-range chart is really telling you that some of those swings are pretty strong, right? Those are 12-range swings when they have those, well, basically they'll have dual numbers on them. But that navy blue right here and here, that's your 12-range swing. This is your 12-range swing when it's in white right here. See this white right here? So what I recommend doing on this, and I like to do myself, is I keep my MTF either on 3 or 5. And that usually will draw it about the same regardless. Because what you're looking for on a 12-range chart is around 30 ticks. That's pretty average when they do these thrusts and retraces. You ever notice that? Okay, so with a swing strength of 3 times 12 is 36. Well, we know that the bars aren't going to go, straight up to begin with, like this. Let me just copy this and show you what I'm talking about. We'll go ahead and paste it on here a couple of times. I thought I did copy it. Let's see if we can paste it. There we go. Paste it again too. All right, you notice that bars don't go like this. They never go like this. I mean, very, very seldom, right? Of course, if they even did this, they go like this. They're not in their same vertical plane. It'd be like that. But very seldom you get that. Usually it's more like this right here and more like this right here, right? That's pretty much what bars do. They thrust up, they pull back halfway, they thrust up, they pull back about halfway. That's pretty standard on what you're looking at a 3 swing strength. Now, if you were doing a 5 swing strength, obviously, you would just simply add another bar. But keep in mind that this doesn't necessarily do this even. What do they do when they do this? They simply do this. They go like that even, don't they? Okay, so pretty much when you look at a 5 strength, it's going to be about what a 3 strength is to begin with. That's why, you know, to me, those are about the same. You're just really looking for somewhere around 30 ticks, you know, for the swing itself. And that's pretty much what these will be. So you've got 80 to 19, that's 39 ticks. All right, this one here had 19 to 93, that's 26 ticks. This is 62 to 87, that's 25 ticks. So see what I mean? As a rule, you know, these retracements that they do without the huge thrust. Now, the bigger thrust obviously is going to be bigger than that. But when they do this, where they pretty much just break and then pull back and break and pull back, that's kind of what you're looking at. Okay. Now, what I like about Lightning 3 is looking at it on a chart, because I can tell by looking at this thing that, you know, this thing is just literally heading down, isn't it? Now, I don't even have any bars on this chart, but I can tell you that I would be looking mostly for shorts, wouldn't you? Okay, so let's add another indicator. Let me get rid of some of these lines on the chart. We don't really need that right now. All right, let's go ahead and add Lightning 1. Let's go ahead and draw it from up here. Whoops, I don't have Lightning 1 on the chart. Bear with me a second, we'll put it on. Lightning 1 we don't have on the chart, so I will put it on here. Sorry about that. Now I'll have to redraw Lightning, of course, because obviously Lightning goes away for a reason on that, right? So let's go ahead and draw 1. Notice that the prices are still, you notice that this drew this down here. This is a swing right here, but this is basically where the prices are at this moment. All right, that's pretty much telling me that I'm looking for a retracement on this trade or a little breakout type trade. Now, one thing to keep in mind on your little breakout trades, you know, we're not going to draw them over like a 20 tick area. That is just not the way to trade. That's called a breakout trade, and they're going to take your money, because what you're going to do, you're going to have a 20 tick box set up on your chart. Let's see where we can get a 20 tick. 18 to about 38, isn't it? That's a big box. Okay, you don't want a box like that, because what's going to happen to you if you do that? They're going to break up. They're going to pull all the way back in, probably to somewhere in the middle of the box, and they're going to definitely stop you out before they head back up. That's why you don't take breakout trades like this. The breakout trade we're talking about, if you go against the trend, is these little consolidation patches. Okay, that's the only type of those that you want to trade. Okay, don't get to drawing these boxes. You know, I see people all the time that'll draw a box like this, and I think, okay, well, if you're going to draw a box like this and take a breakout, then your stop's going to have to be all the way up at the top of the box, isn't it? Because you drew it from a big swing. So, you know, unless you've got really deep pockets in your trading, don't do that, because that type of box is called a breakout, and you don't want breakout trades. Okay, now let's go ahead and take this off. All right, now let's put another indicator on. We have another one called Lightning 2. Now, by the way, Lightning 1 is with your Alt key. You just simply hold your Alt key down and left click your mouse. That's what draws this. The other one is the Shift key for, let me draw it from down here so it'll be a different color. All right, this is kind of showing you got a low, a high, a higher low, a higher high. But see, your low right here is kind of holding so far, like so. Okay, so it's just kind of chopping around right now. And look, the price actually changed as we're talking here because this is really moving live. See there? It's actually moving with replay. Okay, now that's lightning 1, 2, and 3. Let's go ahead and put another indicator on here that I really like. This one is our background. Go down to Viper Pro Background MTF. Okay, this particular one you want to do based on the chart that you're running, or if you want a little slower background, of course, kick this up a little bit. Okay, you won't get in quite as many trades, but you won't get chopped around as much either. But we do use a transition type background, so I personally like the 4 range, and I'll put it on there for you. All right, now of course we lost our lightning again, but notice the color of the background. That's telling you with the Viper tools, for lack of better terms, hey, don't trade against me unless you're going to scalp me, because more than likely I'm going to head back down, not up. Okay, because this background is telling us that Viper has done its job and is telling what this trend is doing. Okay, now let's add another indicator. We'll add the dynamic trend right here. I like to use mine with transparent on everything except line 2, line 6, and line 4. And the reason for that is because I don't like noisy charts. Okay, let's go ahead and put it on. Now, doesn't that pretty much tell you that the trend is down? So you're looking for retracements even up into here, rollovers. You're looking for retracements up into here, rollovers. And that's why we give you these a priori swings too, so you can tell where these things are going to hit their head. Okay, notice how this one went literally 2 ticks above that 87 before it actually fell. And you can tell it fell a little bit because you can draw lightning 1. See, lightning 1's already been down here on your price. Okay. All right, now let's add another indicator to make this chart look really good. And that's going to be our bar colors. Again, you want to use the 4 range. Or you can pull it from any size chart you want. The beauty of our indicators is you can control your trading with some really, really good looking charts and the ability to slow them down and things like that. Like if you want to take wider stops and trade for longer hauls, you can certainly do that with our software. Okay, let's go ahead and put the bar color on. Now see, that looks pretty obvious that this is actually still a downtrend, doesn't it? So why wouldn't I be ready without even adding my other indicators? And I'm going to add some more that's going to really get you even better than this, because I'm going to show you another indicator that we've developed that is going to tell you where the trade's going to hit its head. Okay, but even looking at this chart right here, I'd be doing this. I'd be going, you know what? I'm looking for a downtrend still. I got a little lightning right here. So underneath this right here, I'm pretty much expecting this to break down. Okay, so draw you a little region if you want to. Okay, put it underneath that little swing, that little lightning swing right there. All right, turn off the long. You might even turn on the short when it comes up here to this close to this 89 area right here, and you might get even a trade before it, you know, comes through the bottom, which would be nice, right? We may have already missed it. It looks like it did. It already tested it. But anyway, let's just go ahead and turn that on, and I'll turn up the code to run a little bit faster. Tonight's webinar is about trading Viper tools, and I'll tell you what, over the years that we've been in business, I personally feel, and this isn't a sales pitch, this is a pitch we get from members all the time, that we have developed some very easy to read software. Complex in what it does, but easy to read to begin with, which is really good. See what I did just then? I basically want this trade if it just comes up here. And by the way, I could even add, if I wanted to, if it takes out this bottom. Okay, by simply turning this back on. Now I'd turn this one off, obviously, and turn that one on. Move my target like down here. See, I just got a total and even got 2 targets already. Okay, see how quick that can make you some very, very serious coin. By the way, we'd move this out of the way because we still got 1 contract on. Span vertically, please. Yes, David, will do. I can also even bring this a little fatter on the bars, make it a little easier to see. Something like that. Okay, now the way we teach and the way you as traders trade, everybody that's even in their life started trading had to learn an uptrend and a downtrend. That's the most basic thing, but there are micro trends, there's medium trends, and then there's their longer term trend. That's important to know because I can tell by looking at this chart right now that your micro trend is pretty much straight down, isn't it? It's pretty much straight down. Okay, so could you stay with this trade by putting your stop like right above there? You think so? Okay, let's do it. Now, by the way, my version of Object Trader has exit on close working again. I'm testing it. My programmer got this to me later today. We have checked the exit on close, seems to work perfectly. You can also turn on the reverse if you want to exit and reverse. Okay, and it doesn't seem to go even with fast markets. I ran it at 500 times on Market Replay and also in the live markets today and could not break it. So I'm hoping that he nailed that. Okay, because that's a really, really important feature to me. And one of the reasons it is because I teach and I trade Lightning. Lightning is a very, very powerful way to trade. Okay, see where Lightning is right here? Couldn't you just simply bring that down right there and turn on exit on close? Absolutely you could, because what do we expect if this is going to head down? We expect Lightning to hold. Let's turn on even Lightning 2 instead, just for the fun of it. Let's see what it's looking like. Let's go right up here. A little funkier because it's got to take 2, and I don't like it when it does draws like that, so I'm going to skip that one. I'll go from here instead. And we'll just watch it like this. This is actually taking out this swing here. When I see it draw like this, I usually just turn this off and turn Lightning 1 back on, okay? Because this is telling me when it takes out this swing here, okay, like that identifies this swing, okay? Now, by identifying that swing to get lower highs and lower lows, I expect that swing to hold, okay? By the way, we just have 1 in, and that's a good area to add, by the way, when it comes up real close and then rolls over. We're not going to add right now, obviously, because it's too late, okay? Because that's a thrust now. We're still in a decent trade, though, right? Now, I want to show you how to utilize, if you want to, the exit on close feature with even a reverse. But let's let it run for a minute. Let's see where our Lightning is, because it's important to see Lightning in action before you take even a counter trend trade. Okay, came really close there. By the way, nah, we won't add though. It's still a thrust. But see how that held right there, that swing? That's where we identified that's where our stop needed to be. Okay, that's for our gusto. Now keep in mind, if we had more than, say, 2 or 3 contracts, we would have probably taken some more off when it even came above this little micro swing here. Okay, let's see if this will head down some more. We traded this, and I called this morning live in the room. So this is not something that's, you know, hokey or after the fact. We actually called this live in the room, and also a really good trade after inventory too. Michael B, I will hammer that until it becomes part of your psyche. How's that? Tonight we can do that, because that's what these webinars are for. Identified swings are extremely important. Okay, I'm going to pause this and let's go over identified swings. Okay, this is the most important thing that you can learn. It's very basic, but it's also extremely important. You notice that that's the way this does, right? Now, let's just pretend our price was here, it came here, and it came back up here. When will this become an identified swing? When it takes this out. Okay, so to give you an example, if this was to do like this and then bounce, that's not an identified swing even here. And this may have been, let's just go ahead and draw it a little different, where it had, say, been heading down, because I'll show you what the identified swing will look like here too. Okay, let's say that you saw something like this. This is not your identified swing. It never took out this low here. Okay, in other words, it came up, it pulled down, it never took out this low. Okay, this is your identified swing in this particular case right there. Very easy to see. High, low, lower high, lower low, closes below that swing. See, you would have closed below it. So that's your identified swing right there. Until, what if it did this? Now where's your identified swing? Your identified swing is right there. Okay? And that's how you can make a lot of money trading. It's really that simple. Okay? And Lightning will show you where that's at. Now, sometimes you'll get a little lost looking at all the forest instead of the individual trees. I taught this a couple of weeks ago. Let's go just a little bit at a time on this. I'm going to go ahead and kill this trade for a minute. All right, let's look at this. You've got a high here, a low here. Never took it out until when? Right there on that bar. Okay, so didn't that make this swing across here the identified swing? And when I see it really close like this, I usually take it up to the peak. That's where my stop would be if I would have gotten in, say, up here somewhere, and you're starting to come down. Then what about this swing? It's taken out right here. So couldn't you put your stop right there? Okay. Now, taking out the low swing, there's your high swing, there's your new stop. Okay. See that? Always make sure it closes below it though, because see, this swing here and this swing here is just a little lower. This didn't close below this swing here, so this is not your identified swing. This is. And that's why we held this trade this morning, because our identified swing was right there and we're trying to get a gusto. Okay, you want to watch it in real time and I'll show you what it did. We've already killed the trade, so it's no big deal on that. I just want to show you how to read Lightning. Because watching these Viper tools is extremely important. You can take all those fancy smancy indicators, and I can tell you this, that if you look at a chart and learn how to trade price, you'll beat half the professionals out there. Okay, because they're waiting on these algorithms to trigger and things like that. I've been in rooms before where they had 40 tick stops. Let's just go ahead and do a quick bar close, see if we can get 10 ticks. If we don't, we'll put a really tight stop. See how that came right to our little resistance area right there? Now, normally I would just hit the market order rather than wasting that 4 ticks. Okay. Okay, because we got in late on that one. So I'll put the stop right there. Now I want to show you something that you can do if you want to do, and even going against the trend, because we've got the tools built into this. That is our identified swing right there. Okay, remember we looked at it. That's our identified swing. It's holding so far. But what if I said, you know what, if it breaks that to the upside, maybe I want to go ahead and reverse this trade, because that's my identified swing. I'm looking to at least go to mid-band if it breaks it. So could I actually do that if it exits on close, or if it even touches it? We could do it either way. See how that barely took out the swing right there? That's trying to tell you that it really wants to break up. See how you're starting to get a low, a high, a higher low, a little higher high, higher low, higher high, and so on. Okay. Now, where would your stop be on this particular trade, though, if you happen to have taken this? After what I just taught, where do you think it would be? Well, right now, it would be right here because that's your identified swing. See the high, the low, the higher high with the close? That's your identified swing. Okay. Now, where do we think this trade would go if it happens to keep going? By the way, we also talked about this trade in the room this morning as it was happening, but we were just covering our short, so we didn't get the long on this. But you can get these longs too if they break these identified swings. Okay, so where do we think this trade is going? Well, let's look and see. Looking to the left to trade the right, I see a swing right across here. Okay, if we're going to head down, we need to respect that swing right there. But look here, there's even phantom right there. Well, we already got our targets, so we're good to go. Okay, we got our targets, so we're good to go. Now, what if you wanted to, you know what, this thing's kind of heading up? Well, you got an identified swing right here, don't you? Okay, if this pulls back and pops a little higher than this right here, could I go ahead and take a chance on this trade? You want to try it? See if we can get down close to that line on a pullback. Thrust retrace. Go ahead and turn on my bar close to the upside. See if we can get us a little trade. See why I'm doing that, right? You can clearly tell that that's starting to head up. Now that's a counter trend trade, but we take these all the time in the room. We took one on TF today that just was phenomenal. Okay, so we got our trade. Our stop would be where? Well, lightning is still here, isn't it? So I'm pretty safe on that trade. I've got 6 ticks, and if they do a little thrust retrace, I could obviously be ready to take the stop. We don't know where this is going either, so we could put our target way up here. But could we also be ready for the phantom trade? We talk about these all the time. May have missed it. It'll take it either way, though. It'll take it out of the bottom of the box or right here at this top if it happens to come within 2 ticks again or 3 ticks again. We'll see. Okay, we're flat on our target. We're going to go ahead and see if we can get a trade here at phantom. Looks like we got it at the top, which is good. And judging by this even being a little bit of a deep retracement, but not really taking out this swing across here very much. See how it just wicked it? And remember, we talk about phantom all the time, taking this trade. You don't have to take it like this. You can also box it in. Just box it in with lightning. I'll show you how. See, here's pretty much lightning right here. Turn it on, turn that one off. And if it touches outside that box, fire a trade. We'll just do one contract. Because that's a little consolidation patch right there. Oh, we did touch +3. Probably didn't want to do that. That's all right. Notice it didn't get it because that went down probably 3 and then popped right back up. So Object Trader never fired, which is a good thing. Let's see if we can get a couple of more here. And then we'll just try to get down to where? Mid-band. Where's our lightning swing on this chart? Well, it's right here. See, high, low, higher high. Okay, this isn't really established through here yet, so they're going to more than likely come down and test here, like so, and they're very possibly going to come down to here, like so. I always like to draw 2, thrust, retrace, thrust, thrust, retrace, thrust. So see, there's your other one right here, 79, 73, 79, 73, 78, pardon me. 78, pardon me. Okay. See how those phantom type trades like that can work also quite well? It looks like we just got flat again. We teach this trade quite a bit too. Where's resistance on this chart? Right there, straight across the chart. Could we possibly do something? I think we just missed it, but could we see about getting this little trade here? Like a touch plus 2, it looks like we got it. See why I did that? Came right to where we wanted it to. I don't know if you remember in the room this morning, but Charles and I actually drew this trade and took this trade. And that's exactly how we diagnosed it. You know, you look at the chart, you look at your lightning. We called this trade in the room this morning. A lot of our people took this trade. It's already checked this top right here. So let's see, where do we think this thing's going right now? Well, let's look to the left to trade the right. Got another swing up here at 35.10. Another swing up here at 35.19. Okay, so between those two lines, I would expect more than likely, if we're going to head down again, that is, to hit our head. This is what we call our longer term swing. Remember those 12 range charts? Low, high, remember? So is it possible that if they hit their head here, that we could actually turn back around? We also called and took this trade because it happened after the inventory report. The reason I remember that is because, you know, we called several trades in the room, and obviously you'll see them every day. We call them all the time. Okay, let's see if we can get up there. I'll speed this up. What does everybody think about using Viper tools though? You know, if you can really get proficient at using Object Trader, okay, you can make some pretty decent money. I see another trade here, by the way. If I can slow this down, you see a trend line across here? Array trade. Looks like a decent trade to me. We can even do it on a close instead. Activate our little line, go 3 contracts. That's if we don't get stopped out. Our swing is still here right now. They haven't really established a new one yet, have they? So it's still right across there, and I'll go ahead and go with exit on close. Let's see, Hardy says, any chance we could money shade in OT? Well, money shade is actually an indicator, Hardy, and Object Trader is a strategy. But the one thing, once we get this exit on close, and I do believe that he got it, I've showed it, you know, where you can reverse it and everything even, and the exit on close works quite well. I want to work on this little section right here. See, this is Object Trader right here, sell limit, buy stop. But I want to get this integrated into being able to add array, a region, a bar close. So that way, you know, quickly I could just right click just like Chart Trader and put a trade on the chart. Okay, but you can't do that now because the way this particular deal works with Object Trader, it only works independent of all the rest of it. That's some plans that I've got for Object Trader. And another plan I have for Object Trader, I believe we're going to do away with Sniper having a horizontal line like this, and we're going to integrate this as Sniper instead, where you'll be able to draw different rays on the chart. We'll see. I'll be talking to my programmer, but I don't even bug him about other things yet until we get this squared away. This is so important to me. I've got to have this feature working every day. Because how many times do you just get wicked on these trades? It's just mind-numbing, you know, and if you put it too far out of the way, you lose too much of your trade. What I like to do is just draw it right at the swings and then turn on exit on close. And it makes it really easy. Yes, Diane, on your question, once we get that done, it will be the Ninja ray. So you'll actually just, you'll draw a ray like with Ninja, just like you do sniper right now with the horizontal line. The horizontal line can be your sniper line. So yes, once that gets done, I think that'll make Object Trader a little more what I really, really want it to be. It does a lot right now that I love, but I can see, little things that it needs. It's kind of like Windows when it first came out, isn't it? Look at that. We just got extra contracts. Where did we say that was going to hit its head or could hit its head? Well, it's getting awful close to inventory. You remember what we did? You remember exactly what we did? We brought this up just right on top of that support right there. And if it happens to take it out before inventory, then so be it. Okay? Never leave your money on the table when inventory comes along. Right now we're only 921, so we could simply bring our stop right there. Now, if you see something like this happening and you don't want to use lightning, you can always lag it back like the third bar. That way you don't have to give up so much on this trade. There you go, just got you a trade. Okay, and then the very next trade we took was oil inventory. Let's see some other questions coming in just a second. But Hardy, on your question, by the way, the thing about Money Shade, and that's a very, very good tool too. But the thing you have to remember with Money Shade is you've always got to build like an ATM strategy with NinjaTrader. Otherwise, you're just going to fire trades and you don't have a stop in or any kind of targets or anything. Where with Object Trader, of course, that's basically Object Trader came from Money Shade and from Viper Trendline Trader. Remember that one? Long time ago? Object Trader actually grew from that. And we're also going to be working on optimizing Object Trader because Object Trader is actually a tool that when the market moves extremely fast, it's looking for tick by tick because these lines are really active lines, when you're using an array, a box or something like that. So therefore, you want to be able to, in real time, take those trades, right? But Object Trader's saying, okay, I'm counting every single tick that's coming in. It's not like putting Chart Trader on and putting a limit order. Okay, it's totally different than that. The code in here has to be like if I draw a line here, it knows to get in 2 ticks before it if I tell it to. There's nothing out there like it, but there's also nothing that hogs Ninja memory like it does because obviously it's looking tick by tick. That's why I don't like to have it turned on during news as much because, well, to give an example, you're going to see in just a second, it's going to shotgun at the oil inventory in about 7 seconds. There it goes. See, that will slow Object Trader down quite a bit. That little deal right there will slow it down. Notice you're now we didn't turn this one on for the boxes. But if you want to trade the box, which we highly recommend, go to your indicators, turn on your time regions. I didn't put time regions on here, did I? Let's go ahead and just load a template. We'll just go ahead and load the template from this morning. And then I'll check and make sure it's got those boxes still turned on because those should fire in real time so we can see what they look like. Okay, let's get rid of some of the old ones. I don't like noisy charts. See, we even had ISM today and everything. I mean, it was a killer trading day. There's our 2 oil ones right there. Bear with it a second. Now, of course, anytime you start something like this, you need to put Object Trader back on. Don't ever do what I just did with Object Trader in a trade, because you will be in a trade even though Object Trader is not on your chart. Okay, so I've seen people also do this, like, well, let's look at an NQ chart. Well, they might be in an oil trade and then they change it to an NQ chart. What just happened to their trade? Well, it's still at their broker. Okay, so be sure and don't do anything like that. Object Trader can only be changed and manipulated and things like that if it's not in a trade. Okay, it's 9:30 and 25 seconds. Let's see if we can get that box that we talked about this morning. Remember this? Everybody remember it? Coming up, about 30 seconds. And then once you get this, you can go ahead and trade this. See, like for instance, I can tell you right now that this is telling me that there's a trade setting up right in through here. See it right there? See it right at our little ellipse right there? Let's see if we can get a trade there. We called that this morning on oil. Let's see, Craig's asking, bear with me a second here. If you get in a trade with a stop through Object Trader and lose your internet, does the broker have your stop? Yes. Yeah, your stop is still with the broker. Let me just show you what it looks like over here. Let me get this out of the way. All right, see, like right now, I've got a stop of one contract at 34.94. That's right there. I've got a limit buy down here at 34.43. That would be at your broker. This is on replay. Okay, we're just playing on replay right now. Okay, now, could we, since we're only in one contract, could we get ready to take this trade down here? Well, sure we could. This is the trade we also talked about in the room this morning. See that little swing area right there? Could we get ready to take that trade? Absolutely. And we would expect it to give us at least down to this 62, right? Where do you think it's going to retrace to, the way we teach all the time? Because I can tell you by looking at this chart where this trade should actually retrace itself. Everybody see it? It's right across there. See that? Don't you just about bet that that's going to hit its head? Let's just say that we're not even in the trade. Is that a trade? Absolutely, that's a trade. Because it thrust down, it hadn't retraced yet. So could I take a trade like this? You want to just try it for like a scalp and do like some of our traders do? See it hit it? Just hit a market order. Now where would my stop need to be? Well, right now we're at 12 ticks, which I probably would not do, okay, because that's going to be a little bit on the tough side there. Let's see if we can get a rollover now. It's giving a little bit of a retracement, no big deal. Now we should be able to put our stop right above that wick and turn on exit on close. See why you have to wait for it to at least go your direction before you can put that stop in? Lower like that, that's 7-tick stop now. Okay. Now remember, we did 6 contracts, so we've already got 3 off, and we're not even shooting for a runner. We're just going to take it at the bottom there. You can do this. You can do it all day long. We'll see if we can get another scalp. We'll just try it. Looking to the left to trade the right. Okay, it tested 77. Our next swing I see is 66. Okay, let's see if we get this trade first. So far, we haven't gotten the rest of our trades, so we don't need a trade yet. So far, we're what, 77? And I see another swing that they haven't checked yet right here. So always look to the left to trade the right. See, they tested a little higher, so they haven't checked here. So I'm going to go one more trade right there. If we can take this one out and actually get the second trade. So far, we haven't taken our target yet, which is fine. We may not get it, but we don't need to add to it right now. Everybody see why I picked 72-ish right there? Doesn't mean it's going to hit on the money 72, by the way. Okay, but I can tell you this, that if this takes out this little swing here, you're more than likely going to have a trade between here and here. See it? Thrust, thrust, retrace, thrust. That's a little swing. That's a little swing right there. There's my two closest swings right there. And you want to just about bet that it'll probably go between those two lines and roll over if we're not going to break to the upside. Let's see if we can get a trade if it does. I'll speed this up a little bit. If it'll close below here, we'll go ahead and bring our stop all the way down to break even, but it's got to close below here. Good enough. There we go. We got our target anyway. All right, now you want to see where this next trade's going to be? It's going to be between here and here. And let's see if we can get an ellipse. Those magic ellipses as they show up. Look at that. No higher than here. I bet that was it right there, by the way. Yep, it was. I got it running too fast to grab it. But see what I said about it coming between those two lines? You can just tell where these trades are going if you just learn to read where the swings are. Now, I missed that trade, so I'm not going to chase it. It's probably going to be the best move. Obviously, if you want to take a trade now, you're going to have to take a breakout trade, and I don't like that one as well. I'd probably take it if it even comes anywhere in the middle of this conglomeration of candles right here, like even right through here, for a rollover. But it looks like it's going to break. This trade I don't like right here. That one, that's a breakout trade. If you take that one, tighten the daylights out of your stop, just in case. It looks like it's going to work anyway. That's what you want to do with a breakout trade, though. If it's going to break out, then it needs to do exactly what it's told to do. That's to break out. Now, the reason that we went ahead and took this was right after oil inventory, okay? So that breakout trade is not as deadly of a trade to begin with. But what if you miss that trade right there? What do you do? What does everybody think you do? You got to wait for a retracement. Look to the left to trade the right. Let's see what's to the left. Well, it broke 58 and it broke 48, didn't it? So I'm expecting anywhere between those two lines for a rollover for another trade. When you've already thrust like that, there it is right there, as a matter of fact. Not region. Bar close. See how it's coming right where we think it's going to? If it closes, we'll be in it. Tested 48. Could go higher though, couldn't it? You'll find that when you look to the left to trade the right, you're probably going to see some swings you've never seen before. And if you can't see them, draw them with lightning. Okay, let's see if this candle will pop down. If it will, we'll put our stop just above the wick. It's got to take out this right where we got in. Good enough. See how it's trying to push it? Just like that. It's a beautiful way to trade. Viper tools on your chart, not trying to sell anything in any way, shape, or form. Most of you guys and gals in here are members, The whole idea, though, is we develop these tools for our own personal use. When Charles and I met 8.5 years ago, and he asked me to start trading with him after I'd been to some of his webinars for another company he was working for at the time, we just went about deciding that we wanted our charts to look like something we could trade. I had spent like $5,000 on a particular product. I won't name its name in the room here because they're still a vendor today, but they have like one webinar a week. I spent $5,000 for their indicators and I lost $20,000 trading ES. Our charts are so much easier to trade. And the reason they are is because we've designed them so that our traders can trade a very well done chart, okay? Where do you think that's going to hit its head again? Well, right at 48. See, it came to the first line the first time. Now it just came there. See, we drew two lines for a reason. I wouldn't even be afraid of that trade even now, actually. Well, now I might. I wanted that bar. But anyway, you see what I'm getting at? Draw those lines on the charts and watch them thrust down. They'll pull back and test. They'll thrust down. They'll pull back and test. They'll thrust down again. They'll pull back and test the next little level. Always learn to see where they're going, because if it's going to head down, you need lower highs and lower lows. So always look for a high check and then a little bit lower high check, right? If you miss this trade entirely, what do? Well, you got to wait for a retracement. Price action is absolutely the key, isn't it, Hardy? Price action is so important to trading because it's the only way that they can't take your money from you, because there's not an indicator out there that's not a lagging indicator. But price is always price. They can't manipulate that. They can speed it up. They can do their little, basically their algos and everything, but these charts will still pick it up. But what about an indicator? What if you had CCI or MACD or something telling you to get short all the way down here, and then it retraces 12 ticks in your face? That doesn't look like a lot of retracement right there when you got in way up here. But let's say that you got in here. You had just walked in and you said, you know what, this thing's breaking down, so I'm going to sell it. And then what does it do? It retraces. It takes you for 12 or 15 ticks. You did 3 contracts. That's $450 out of your pocket. Where with our indicators, you learn where they're going back to, and you just simply take the coin when they get there. Okay, we can move this out of the way, can't we? Because what's the whole idea of trading? Well, we want to stay with Lightning. Where's Lightning at right now? Lightning is right there. And we'll have this exit on close back to everyone in the next few days. I hate to keep sending you scripts you have to put on. You don't have to. If you don't use exit on close anyway, don't worry about it. But if you do like to use exit on close and the reverse feature, it's a pretty powerful little tool. Okay? Anybody have any questions before we wrap tonight? Expand again, please. Sorry, David. Something like that. You can tell Lightning's right there, right? See, that's an identified swing. Let's see who was asking earlier about that identified swing. Bear with me a second. My memory is terrible. Let's see here. Who was asking about identified swings? Where were you at? I've lost it. Bear with me a second. I'll find it. Let's see, how come you don't have wicks on your bars? We do have wicks on our bars. Oh, you mean on the Rankos? Person that asked that may have left because I don't see that question anymore. And when that question leaves like that, there's a possibility that they have left. See, that took us out on that swing right there. That's our identified swing right there. But that doesn't mean I can't try this trade one more time. See how it just took this out barely and rolled over? I'm going to try to get just right down to here. And if an ellipse shows up, we'll try to get to it instead. Let's see, what's the hotkey for Ray tool? Is enter. First off, you have to put it on the Ray, okay, like that. Then you hit insert, and a Ray shows up on your chart. okay? You can move it, do anything with it that you want. The enter key is what activates it. See how it turns green like that? That's what activates it. And insert will get rid of it again. Let's see, when I just put the bar color on, didn't have wicks at that time. On these 4-range bars, should always have wicks on these 4-range bars, because what they do is the body starts where it opens and where it closes, right? And then anything else is a wick. All right, let's see. See if there's any other questions. I have all the irons in the fire, my memory's fine. Well, sometimes it doesn't feel like it's fine. I'm gonna go back to break even on that one because that looks like a double bottom to me. You see this all the time. See how they barely took out that low right there? We're out. Okay, where's our next trade on the chart? We teach it all the time. It's at mid-band. And you're going to have an ellipse right there too. And just trade them the way you see them. Okay, we'll do it again tomorrow in the trading room. And thanks everyone for coming. I'm going to try to get this on the website. It's a little different than it used to be. So it may take me a few more minutes because you have to actually do the HTML code. And I'll have to look at it, do some copying, and then change the video name and stuff like that and get it up there. All right. Any final questions before we wrap? Final questions before we wrap. Thanks, everyone. We will see you tomorrow. Don't forget to watch these webinars if you miss them, because truthfully, I learn when I go to webinars. I mean, I go to Charles's webinars a lot of times. I don't know if he comes to mine. I'm not sure. Maybe he needs to. I don't know. But I like webinars, and I go to them. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great evening. Bye now.